On your bike in association with Safer Roads Humber, taking road safety seriously.
When it comes to cycling, age has no barrier. Ray Robson is a veteran cyclist, 88, and is still riding high with the Thursday Road Club. Ray is a life member of the club and has been an avid cyclist since the tender age of 14. The group itself was established as far back as 1908 at a meeting at the Grosvenor Hotel, Hull, as the cycling section of the Hull Tradesmen Athletic Association. It's still going strong. So the Thursday Road Club then, was that one of Hull's first cycling clubs to be born?
Yes, I think it was, and it started off as the Hull Bicycle Club, and it was formed with members that were used at shops and were in business, and they closed on a Thursday afternoon. That's how it became Hull Thursday.
And it's obviously still in operation.
Oh, yes.
So do you ride with the club on a Thursday?
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday and Sunday we go out.
So that's like a branch off of the club then, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. What's the community like in the cycling world? Because obviously you've been a member of the Thursday Road Club for all that time. Have you made lots of friends over the years?
Oh, yes, many friends at all. I have all the friends from the 1950s, etc., and then friends of today.
So it's certainly a good social sport, isn't it? As well as
definitely is
all the other connotations that go with
yes.
cycling. It's a very good social sport.
It's an excellent social sport.
Yeah. So, as we've identified, fantastic achievement, 69 years you've been a cyclist. What changes have you seen across that time span in all those years?
Oh, fantastic changes, because when I first started, we rode fixed wheel.
Oh, right.
And you rode everywhere on a fixed wheel. Then, even after the war, when I started racing on a fixed wheel, and then eventually, as gears came out, we started riding onto gears and that. Coming up to the present day, when you've got your brake levers as brake levers and another lever with your finger just changes your gears.
Yes.
You've got clipless pedals. You don't have to have toe clips and straps. Everything's fantastic, easy now. And the wheels and the bikes, aluminium bikes, carbon frames, they're fantastic now.
What advice would you give to me as an amateur cyclist?
Well, I would advise you to, as you start, to do low miles and then build them up as you. And the main advice is to enjoy it while you are cycling, but also keep cycling as long as you can, and go as far as you can. Build it up to that.
I'll take a leaf out of your book.
Enjoy it, definitely.
Yes. I'll take a leaf out of your book, Ray.
Yes.
Whilst making the On Your Bike series, I've discovered that cycling is enjoying a bit of a boom. There is a clear passion and enthusiasm for it, with many cycling groups and personalities taking to the wheel across not only our region, but the whole country, all doing it for a variety of reasons, from fair weather leisure cyclists to hardcore mile crunchers, all with one thing in common: their love for the sport. Some might argue that the increase in cyclists can be attributed to high-profile cycling coverage, gold medals, and our own premier cycling event we explored earlier in the series, the Tour de Yorkshire. And undoubtedly this will have had some effect, but the sheer numbers of cyclists now sharing an already cluttered road space has me wondering what the future will bring for cyclists. I'd like to know what plans are being proposed to ensure that cyclists stay safe on the roads, and how we are going to maintain cycling as an accessible leisure activity for everyone to enjoy. One person who might be able to give me some answers is Principal Transport Policy Officer at East Riding Council, Mark Jessup. Mark, here we are outside the beautiful Beverley Minster, in Beverley no less. What's your role at the council, first of all?
I work in transport policy team, so we look ahead, if you like, to see what policies we might need to develop to, in our case, particularly to encourage things like sustainable travel, so like cycling, like walking and so on. So my role is, if you like, to try and support and promote cycling going forward.
And what's happening going forward in the cycling world within the council at the moment?
Well, like every local authority, we have a local transport plan, and in there we have to set our priorities, and we set our programme, what we're going to do. One of our priorities is obviously to support sustainable travel, to try and reduce private car journeys, so we're reducing the amount of CO2 that's going into the atmosphere. So in the programme, as you'd expect to see, there is a lot of cycling schemes that we're proposing to put in over the next 3 years.
Where do you see cycling going in the next 5 years? Because cycling's a very big business at the moment, isn't it? You know, with the Tour de Yorkshire, there's lots of cyclists on our roads, cycling clubs and personalities popping up all over the region.
Yes.
What do you forecast happening in the next 5 years with the cycling
Well,
world?
I can tell you what we'd like to see. I mean, yes, the explosion in leisure cycling and sport cycling is great for health and activity. That's just brilliant. I think what we'd like to see is a few more of those Lycra leisure miles being transferred to commute miles, to utility miles.
Aside from your role at the council, on a personal level, where do you see cycling, or where do you anticipate it going in the next 5 years?
I think what I'd like to see is more cycling, and I'd like to see it done more safely. And that's not the council talking, that's me talking as a cyclist of, as you can see by the colour of my hair, many, many years. And that would be my aspiration, is to see more people on the bikes and doing it more safely and enjoying it. And if we can achieve that, for whatever reason you're cycling, then I think we've all done a good job.
Finally, Mark, pivotal question. Tell me one fantastic thing about cycling in your eyes.
There are lots of great things about cycling, and those people who cycle regularly know all the benefits, the health benefits, everything else that goes with it. For me, as a commuter, as a regular commuter by bike, the key things for me are it's cheap, it keeps me fit, and I don't have to worry about where I park when I get to work, because there's a nice stand I can lock my bike to when I'm a few yards away from the office. Those are the great things about cycling to work on your bike. But obviously everybody has a story to tell who's a cyclist.
And we've had many of those stories throughout this series. Mark, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Luke.
Sustrans is the pioneer of sustainable transport in the UK. The charity's principal aim is to encourage people to walk, cycle and use public transport with one message: travelling in ways that benefit their health and environment. Their flagship project is the National Cycle Network, which has created over 14,000 miles of signed and safe cycle routes throughout the UK. I spoke to Rupert Douglas, area manager, about future developments within Sustrans as a result of the increase in cyclists. I believe you've had involvement with Sir Gary Verity recently.
Yes, he came to our NCN20 event in Leeds and spoke about making Yorkshire the cycling capital of Europe. And he was quite candid in saying, when he first started talking about bringing the Tour de France to Yorkshire, people thought he was, balmy, but he's achieved that. So in terms of us talking about, doing a lot more to provide for cyclists and walkers in Beverley, elsewhere in East Riding, in Hull, that's very definitely what we need to be aiming for and be ambitious. We have 14,000 miles of National Cycle Network across the UK as a whole, about 1,000 of that across Yorkshire and the Humber, and very significant parts of that covering the East Riding, linking with Hull, linking with York, for example. So it provides for a variety of trips, short trips, going to work, leisure cycling, and in some cases sort of longer trips for cycle tourism. So, that's our focus, working with, for example, local authorities like East Riding and Hull City Council, and trying to improve it, where it needs to be improved, or look to expand it where we currently don't have National Cycle Network, linking certain towns, cities, places to visit.
So do we say more bikes, less cars?
I think so. I think, it's inevitable, really.
Yes.
And, but we've got a job to do, working with our local authority and other partners, and all, inspirational organisations like Welcome to Yorkshire and Sir Gary Verity, to take it to the next level, I think.
5 years from now, where do we see cycling?
I think it's just going to build exponentially. I would like to see, a better National Cycle Network across the East Riding and Hull, and going across, we have National Route 1, which forms part of the North Sea Cycle Route, coming across the Humber Bridge there, linking Yorkshire and Hull with North Lincolnshire. I know my colleague working in that area is working with the local authorities to get cycle routes on the southern edge of the Humber, so that you can link Grimsby, Cleethorpes, all these places. Yeah. So there's a lot we can do, and that's what we're going to be doing.
Well, all good things must come to an end, and we've reached the end of our cycling series, but what a fantastic adventure it's been. I've really enjoyed discovering what our region has to offer and have been surprised by the variety of places you can visit, things you can see, and the friendly, interesting people who live locally and who are all too ready to share their worlds with you. We've covered many miles from the coast to inner city life, through suburbia and out on the North Sea, discovering companies manufacturing premium products right here in the region and older industries that have stood from before living memory, becoming icons of the area and still supplying a valuable contribution in more modern times. I had a great time meeting and riding with the many cycling clubs in the area, some historic and some more recently formed, but all with a passion for cycling and only too ready to welcome me into their groups and share their knowledge and skills with me. I hope you've enjoyed watching the series as much as we've enjoyed making it. More information, hints and tips from the series are available on our website estuary.tv/OnYourBike, where you'll also find the free mobile app Cycle Yorkshire Ride the Routes. So from everyone here at On Your Bike, safe cycling!
On Your Bike, in association with Safer Roads Humber, taking cycle safety seriously.